Hello beautiful people. I have a taste for some bread pudding, so I'm going to make a quick and simple bread pudding. All I have is some butter here. I did not measure. And I have some fruit cocktail, and I think this is heavy syrup. Let's see. It doesn't say, but I think this one is in heavy syrup. I can't see it as of right now. And I have some brown sugar, some cinnamon, and I'm just going to toast me about 5 to 6 pieces of bread. I'm not using any egg in this recipe. I'm probably going to use maybe a little oat milk to wet the bread down and get it nice and soft. But the egg, for me, I typically don't use egg if I don't need to, like in macaroni and things of that nature. I found that it turns out still pretty well without the egg. So my bread is toasted and my butter is pretty nice and soft, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So since I was using this pan anyway, I just went ahead and melted the butter in it, and that way it could go ahead and coat the pan at the same time. So I'm just going to pour my butter onto my bread and set that aside until I'm ready to place it in the pan. Again, I'm really not doing any measurements. I'm just going kind of by taste here. And I know it looks like my bread is a little burnt and toasted, but that's okay because that is gonna disappear into the flavoring of everything else that's in here. So I have, again, some cinnamon. That's probably about one teaspoon or so. And I'm going to add probably a half of a heaping spoon of this brown sugar. I really don't like things too sweet. I just want the taste of it because I haven't had it in a while. So I'm just going to get some brown sugar out of here. And I am going to use a stirring spoon, but I'm not going to fill it up. I'm just going to get about what I would call half of a spoon because I don't want or need or like a whole lot of sugar. So as you can see, but you can do this to your own taste. And after that, I just go ahead in there and soften this up with what I have in it so far. And I'm kind of doing this a little bit first because I don't want to chop up my my fruit cocktail too much. So I'm doing this to kind of get it broken down in chunks first, and then I'm going to go in and add just a little bit of, probably like a half a cup of oat milk. Well, I'm sorry, I'm going to use almond milk this time. So I have my almond milk here, and like I said, I'm going to use about a half a cup, and that's just enough to just get it softened. I don't want it soaking wet, just enough to soften it because you still have the liquid that's going to come from your fruit cocktail. And I did drain my fruit cocktail. I went ahead and I drained all the liquid off of it because I don't want that liquid in there. I don't want it. I don't need it. So yeah, I'm just going to get that nice and stirred. Make sure my bread is coated and kind of soft in there. I actually like to taste just a little firmness and crunch in my bread pudding. Of course, this is not the traditional way of making it. It doesn't have a whole lot of ingredients because I don't eat the same that I used to. I cut a lot of things out. I found that it's not needed. My taste for sugar has changed as well. So when your mind changes, your way of cooking and everything else changes. So I got it nice and broken down there. And now I'm going to add in my can of fruit cocktail, nice and drained. I may add a little bit more liquid in it so that when it's baking, it sticks a little better. But to be honest with you, it really doesn't have to. I'm the only one eating this, which is why I didn't make very much of it. This was 6 slices of bread toasted, and that is really, since I don't have any egg in it, I'm probably going to go ahead and taste it since I don't have the raw egg in it, just to see if the sweetness is going to be to my liking. It's okay, but I'm just going to add just maybe another couple teaspoons of brown sugar. And I'm not even going to taste that because that's going to be enough for me. And I'm going to put this in the oven, I'm sorry, for probably about 20 to 30 minutes or so on 360. So I got my pan all nice and coated here. I'm gonna go ahead and spoon that in. I know this is not a whole lot. I'm using this pan because I don't want big thick chunks. I wanted nice and nice thin bread pudding. And you saw how quick I made that, right? I call myself the quick cook. Of course, things taste better when you put more time in it. However, I find that if I'm doing something for myself and it's just for me to get the taste of it, or I don't have to put a whole lot of time in it, I don't. So, yeah, I got that in there. I'm just gonna get it, you know, pretty even. It's nice and moist, so I know that it'll stick once it cooks and actually cools, and it'll be just fine.